Yesterday, John Steenhuisen announced the firing of one of the top animal epidemiologists in the world from his ministerial task team. This comes after he, Dr. Dani Odendaal, was the only member of this task team with the guts to blow the whistle on 18 months of neglect and mismanagement of the foot and mouth disease crisis. In fact, two other vets spoke to us under the condition of anonymity. They both described Steenhuisen as impossible to work with and as thinking that he knows better than all the vets on his own team. Yet, Dr. Odendaal, the most senior veterinary epidemiologist on the team, broke his silence and blew the whistle, exposing the whole truth about what led to the absolute disaster by Steenhuisen's department to curb the spread of this pandemic. You see, last week John Steenhuisen proclaimed to the nation that his department has reached a turning point in this country's fight against foot and mouth. He told us that this moment marks a shift to a science-led policy, so-called science-led, decisive action and proactive control. Yet, behind these press statements and the photo op with him and the doctor standing next to the fridge from Game lies a very different reality. One defined by the delay and the distortion and the false narrative that collapses the moment that you actually have the facts in front of you, which we do because of Dr. Odendaal. Dr. Dani Odendaal was given notice yesterday that his membership of the ministerial task team is being terminated with immediate effect. The official reason given for firing Dr. Odendaal was his refusal to sign a non-disclosure agreement prohibiting him from making any public statements regarding the work done by the ministerial task team of John Steenhuisen. This is something Dr. Odendaal refused to do from the very start, as he believed transparency with the public was vital to this foot and mouth task team. The question must be asked in any way, why is it even necessary for vets to sign an NDA about working on a solution for a nationwide pandemic in the first place? It's not like they are busy with any clandestine work in the first place. They are working on curing a nationwide disease, something scientific, not requiring absolute secrecy and non-disclosure agreements. Yet, this had not been a problem until mere days after Dr. Odendaal wrote an expose on his Facebook page, shedding a light on the whole truth about what was going on behind the scenes for the past 18 months. Now, suddenly, he's fired. In this video, we will shed light on the truth and expose all the information Steenhuisen wanted to keep secret so badly. Last week, the South African Minister of Agriculture, John Steenhuisen, announced what he hailed as a major breakthrough in the fight against the foot and mouth epidemic that is currently devastating South Africa's farmers. As he visited the Agricultural Research Council at Onderstepoort Veterinary Research Facility, the President and CEO of the Council, Dr. Lita Maginka, handed over what the government now presents as the first batch of locally produced foot and mouth disease vaccines in over 20 years. In an official government statement, Steenhuisen described the just over 12,000 vaccines which have now been produced at Onderstepoort as a milestone, which in his words signals a shift from reactionary disease chasing to proactive science-led war on the epidemic. Steenhuisen's department furthermore also once again emphasized that the disease is strictly and only state-controlled and that the only way forward in terms of battling this disease is by means of a centralized monitoring and state-led control over this vaccine procurement and distribution to farmers. But what is the truth? Dr. Odendaal has the answers for us. On the 4th of August 2023, around 2.5 years ago, and long before Steenhuisen became minister, the Agricultural Research Council at Onderstepoort announced that it was finally launching its new foot and mouth disease vaccine, which had been registered a full year before. It was furthermore announced that the vaccine would finally be rolled out from the 4th of September 2023, exactly a month later. This rollout in the spring of 23 would be the result of a 13-year-long research project that was launched in 2010 to produce vaccines tailor-made for the South African region and the specific strains of foot and mouth found in this part of the world. This research project involved both South African and Dutch veterinarians and scientists, and the aim was to have the vaccine ready in case of a foot and mouth disease outbreak. And yet, instead of rolling out the vaccines 2.5 years ago as promised, for some reason the Department of Agriculture promptly stopped the project and sat on these vaccines despite the growing concerns of foot and mouth disease throughout the country. Small outbreaks in pockets throughout the country, which have finally culminated in a full-scale pandemic that we are experiencing today. And now in February 26, Minister Steenhuisen hails the production of a mere 12,000 doses as a so-called breakthrough and a shift in FMD policy. But what happened in the first 19 months of Steenhuisen's tenure as Minister of Agriculture, and why only now? As Dr. Dani Odendaal pointed out in his expose, this country actually needs 14 million doses every 6 months just to regain control of the disease. Not to stop it, just to regain control. As such, he described Steenhuisen's claim as nothing short of an insult to not only South Africa's farmers and vets, but to every South African and consumer who depends on a functioning agricultural system. And for speaking these uncomfortable truths, and for actually standing up for the interests of this country's farmers, Steenhuisen fired him. Moreover, Steenhuisen's false claims, lies and persecution of dissenters do not stop with him. Time and time again over the past few weeks, he has reiterated that his government cannot allow for free market production and distribution of vaccines in South Africa, because, as he claims, without centralized monitoring and state control, South Africa risks failing to meet the World Organization of Animal Health requirements. Yet, this is also blatantly false, as pointed out by Dr. Odendaal himself. In direct responses to journalistic inquiries provided by officials from the World Organization for Animal Health requirements earlier this week, they clearly stated that the organization in fact does not regulate who within a country may acquire, may handle, or may administer foot and mouth vaccines. The organization went even further and noted that beyond merely reporting on the spread of the disease, it imposes absolutely no obligations with regard to operational vaccination records, irrespective of whether vaccination is carried out by state services or by private actors. This directly contradicts Steenhuisen's claims as the basis for limiting private sector procurement and distribution of FMD vaccines in the first place was the World Organization of Animal Health, who just confirmed that Steenhuisen was lying. The real scandal here, however, as Dr. Dani Odendaal further points out, is not merely that 12,000 doses are laughably insufficient and a drop in the bucket to fight the disease. The real scandal is that South Africa already had a fully registered vaccine in 2022, 4 years before the outbreak spiraled out of control, and more than a year before Steenhuisen became minister. And the state, which had ample opportunity to manufacture this at scale, failed to do so despite every vet on the task team pressuring Steenhuisen to do so for a very long time now. And now, we are all paying the price for this failure, because had this vaccine been licensed to contract manufacturers the moment it was registered, South Africa would have controlled the relatively small 2022 outbreak while prevention was still possible, unlike today, where the whole country is hit so hard. Instead, the Department of Agriculture did nothing and waited until the crisis completely spiraled out of control and became irreversible in this country. And this was ultimately caused by an ideological commitment to state monopoly and government control, even when the government knew that it was incapable of delivering. private manufacturers could have produced this vaccine faster, cheaper, and at the scale required. The state knew this according to Dr. Orendahl, and yet Steenhuisen's department knowingly chose to control over to contain the disease. They chose bureaucracy for themselves over the biology of the animals and centralization over animal health. And for what? For selling the vaccine at 60 rands per dose when the exact same vaccine is sold in Botswana where it's imported from for just 16 rands, almost a quarter of the price. Who's making money out of this? By hailing the production of a mere 12,000 vaccines here locally at Ondersepoort as a breakthrough, Steenhuisen is making a calculated attempt to rewrite history. This vaccine is not new at all. It was developed 13 years ago already, registered in 2022, 4 years ago, and already announced as a breakthrough in 2023 before the state suddenly just dropped it all. Dr. Orendahl has now, at tremendous risk to his own career, courageously revealed to the world that what we are seeing unfold is nothing more than the delayed release of a vaccine that should have been available years ago and can only have been deliberate by Steenhuisen. Moreover, Steenhuisen has repeatedly claimed that full-scale control over vaccine procurement and rollout is required to regain South Africa's foot and mouth free status under the rules of the World Organization for Animal Health, but this requirement never existed in any international rules as confirmed by Dr. Orendahl and multiple other veterinarians working at the World Organization for Animal Health. And as the World Organization for Animal Health has now officially confirmed in their official capacity, it never required that vaccination be carried out under state control in order for any country that is a member of this organization to regain FMD-free status. In fact, the organization's representatives have highlighted that there are absolutely no mandates in their rules beyond merely filling reports, and that evaluations with regard to a country regaining vaccine-free status are conducted completely irrespective of whether vaccination is carried out in the first place or whether it is carried out by state services or by the private sector. The only way to regain the status is by having representatives from the organization come to this country and test for themselves, irrespective of what had happened here. So everything that Steenhuisen claimed about international rules was, from the very start, completely false. The consequences of these falsehoods and misinformation being spread by the Minister of Agriculture and his department are absolutely devastating. By falsely invoking international rules that do not exist to justify monopoly control over their own vaccines, this state has actively delayed the rollouts at the precise moment that the speed and scale were essential to stop this crisis from being able to be contained to be where it is now, where it is almost irreversible. The result has been uncontrolled spread of the disease, collapsing biosecurity throughout the country, massive financial losses to our farmers, the loss of export markets that we could have still had if the state actually did their job and if Steenhuisen just started actually rolling out the vaccine or giving the license to private companies the day that he became minister 19 months ago. What we are seeing is rising food prices for consumers and widespread animal suffering. Worse still, trust between the agricultural sector and the state has been severely eroded, leaving South Africa as a whole weaker, poorer, and far more vulnerable to future outbreaks than in the past. All in all, South Africa is now in a worse position in terms of fighting foot and mouth than it had been at any time in its entire history, including the time under ANC ministers. Compounding this damage are the false claims surrounding the vaccine's development and the rollout, Steenhuisen's department is attempting to rewrite the timeline and obscure years of incompetence and inaction, including a full 19-month delay of the vaccine rollout under Steenhuisen himself as the Minister of Agriculture. Instead of accountability, instead of taking actual responsibility, Steenhuisen is always blame shifting, acting as if this pandemic is solely caused by the country's farming community and that his department bears no responsibility. Take a look at this.
But there's an important point as well, is that government can't do this on its own. And the disease isn't spread by government. I don't own cattle. The government doesn't own cattle. Yeah. The disease is spread when people break the rules, when they move animals from quarantine or infected areas and they move them into areas that are not infected. That is how the disease is spread. You don't have the minister going with some magic dust spreading foot and mouth disease. You don't have this thing magically floating through the air. Don't let vehicles come onto your farm that have not been properly sprayed. Yeah. Don't let farm workers move from an infected farm to your farm without going through the proper PPE and spraying environment. Taking just those simple biosecurity mechanisms can help prevent the disease from coming onto the farm level. Now, I can't be the farm manager for every farmer in the country. There has to be some ownership also taken at a farm and an industry level to make sure that they're playing their part as well.
And on top of this, he fired now one of the world's leading animal epidemiologists at the most crucial moment of the fight against this disease, just because this man went out courageously and spoke the truth about what was happening in Steenhuisen's own department. The result of all of this is, as can be expected, a complete breach of trust between this country's farmers and Steenhuisen's department. And now a coalition of 3 major organizations representing mostly Afrikaner farmers are rightly taking him to court. Sakeliga, the South African Agricultural Initiative, or SAI, and Free State Agriculture. And given all that we have uncovered, all that was given to us, the truth that the light had been shed on by Dr. Dani Oenendaal, Steenhuisen's day in court simply can't come soon enough. In a recent interview I did with Francois Rousseau, the CEO of SAI, he explained what their goal and strategy is with the case they are building against Steenhuisen. If you want more information and check out the full interview, you can just click on this link appearing on your screen right now. And invest in us supporting the vital work our team here at the Willem Petzer Group does to produce vital content such as this. Simply follow the easy steps on the banner below. Thank you, goodbye, and God bless.